Hey everybody, and welcome to the first of our 3 video lectures on LinkedIn. In this video lecture, we'll discuss some basic introductory information about LinkedIn. But before we get started in earnest, let's begin with a frank acknowledgement. LinkedIn, whatever its virtues, is not the most fun social media platform. It's not the platform you're going to go to hang out with your friends and crack jokes and post memes about sports. No, that's not what you're going to do on LinkedIn. So that begs the question, why should you use it? Well, there's several reasons why you should use it. But first, you should use it because it's a great tool for organizing your professional network. Because you primarily connect on LinkedIn to folks with whom you have professional connection, it's a great way of distinguishing your professional contacts from your personal contacts. It also keeps you updated on career developments in your contacts' lives, and it allows you to see who your contacts are themselves connected to. And all of that information can be useful if you're trying to get your foot in the door for an internship or a job, if you're trying to find collaborators for a project or a startup, or for a variety of other purposes. So that's one very good reason to use LinkedIn. Just as importantly, you should use LinkedIn because it's one of recruiters' preferred tools. In fact, about 85% of HR professionals use LinkedIn when recruiting new hires. They use LinkedIn in a variety of different ways. They use it to research folks that they've already met in person or with whom they're already in conversation, but primarily they use it for its search functionality. And they use that search functionality in 2 key ways. So first, they search for potential candidates by keywords, by skills, and by job titles. And then once they have a preliminary list of candidates for a position, they then refine their search by location and connections. They want to see that their potential candidates are in or near their preferred location, and they want to see if they have any connections to trusted associates. So that's a little bit on why you should use LinkedIn. Now let's turn to how you should use LinkedIn with a quick list of do's and don'ts. We'll start, of course, with the do's. So, to build your personal network and to grab recruiters' attention, you should generally follow these 6 tips. You want to adapt your profile to your professional goals. You don't just want to throw information out there. Instead, you want to think about what you want your LinkedIn profile to achieve, how that profile connects to your larger professional goals, and tailor your content accordingly. You want to use concise first-person language and a collegial tone. As with most communication in a workplace setting, you don't want to be too formal, you don't want to be too informal. On LinkedIn, as in virtually everything else, you want to use a business casual tone. You want to link your claims to concrete results and benefits, just as you would on your resume or in a cover letter. You don't just want to assert something about yourself or your skill set. You want to include information that proves that you possess that experience or skill set. You want to connect viewers to examples of your work. LinkedIn is, of course, an online medium, which means that you have access to hyperlinks. Take advantage of those links to connect viewers to your work. You want to update your profile and engage your connections regularly. As with all social media platforms, the algorithm favors those who engage with the platform on a regular basis, so take advantage of that. And then lastly, you want to use keywords, but not buzzwords, to improve your search results. Now, this is the second time that we've mentioned keywords in this video lecture. And of course, we've talked about keywords in previous video lectures, but nevertheless, let's have a brief discussion about what keywords are, if only as a refresher. So as you'll probably recall, keywords are distinctive nouns or noun phrases. For the purposes of LinkedIn, you want to identify keywords by looking for distinctive nouns or noun phrases, not just in job ads as you would for your resume or cover letter, but also in your peers' profiles. See what kinds of nouns or noun phrases appear repeatedly in the most effective examples of your peers' profiles. And you should note that as you incorporate these keywords into your own LinkedIn profile, that they are most powerful, that they attract the greatest attention from the search functionality on LinkedIn when they appear in either your headline or in your summary. So incorporate them throughout, yes, of course, but mainly focus on incorporating those keywords in your headline and summary. Now let's turn to some quick things that you should avoid doing when using LinkedIn. So first, you want to avoid copying and pasting language from your resume. There's, of course, an awful lot of overlap between LinkedIn and your resume, but resumes are even more concise than LinkedIn needs to be. You can be a bit more expansive on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn should also work for a wider range of audiences. With a resume, you're just applying to one job at a time. Whereas with LinkedIn, you're oftentimes appealing to a variety of different viewers for a variety of different purposes. Secondly, you should avoid using telegraphic or third-person language to describe yourself. Telegraphic language, when you cut out, connective words, or third-person language when you describe yourself using your full name, that sounds weird and unnatural. It's not something that we do in everyday conversation, so avoid it. It just sounds weird. Third, you want to avoid writing long, dense paragraphs. Long, dense paragraphs are unwelcome in virtually any business setting. They're particularly unwelcome on the internet when people's attention span just instantaneously evaporates. Next, you want to avoid supporting your claims with too much detail. Yes, of course, you want to support your claims with evidence. You want to back up the stuff that you say on your profile, but don't make your audience feel like they're wading through an academic tome when they're looking at your profile. And then lastly, you want to, generally speaking, avoid using humor, which is difficult for your readers to interpret. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of this brief introductory video lecture on LinkedIn. Please make sure that you watch the other 2 video lectures on LinkedIn. And thanks for watching this video lecture.